بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صاحب السعادة الدكتور محمد بن مبارك بن دينة، وزير النفط والبيئة المبعوث الخاص لشؤون المناخ راعي الحفل، سعادة المهندس وائل بن عبد الله الجعفري، النائب التنفيذي للرئيس للخدمات الفنية في أرامكو السعودية، الداعم الرئيسي للمؤتمر، أصحاب السعادة، ضيوفنا الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسعدني أن أرحب بكم جميعا في حفل الافتتاح الرسمي لمؤتمر ومعرض الشرق الأوسط 18 لتآكل المعادن. اسمحوا لي بتقديم نفسي، عامر بن عبد الرحمن العامر، مهندس ميكانيكي في أرامكو السعودية، حيث سأكون معكم اليوم في تقديم فقرات برنامج حفلنا هذا بالتناوب مع زميلتي نورة الدوسري. أصحاب السعادة، ضيوفنا الكرام، اسمحوا لنا أن نقدم فقرات برنامج حفلنا هذا باللغة الإنجليزية.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Dana, Minister of Oil and Environment, Special Patron, a Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, Conference Patron, Mr. Wa'il bin Abdullah al-Jafari, Executive Vice President of Technical Services, Saudi Aramco. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Noura Najid Dosari, a materials engineer at Saudi Aramco. It gives a great pleasure to be the Master of Ceremonies tonight with Al-Amir. Your Excellencies, honored guests, we are delighted to commence our program with the recitation of the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط وأنزلنا الحديد فيه بأس شديد ومنافع للناس وليعلم الله من ينصره ورسله بالغيب إن الله قوي عزيز.
Distinguished Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it is our honor to extend a warm welcome to all of you at the opening ceremony of the 18th Middle East Corrosion Conference and Exhibition 2023, organized by the Association of Material Protection and Performance, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia Chapter, and Bahrain Society of Engineers. This year holds a special significance as we celebrate the 45th anniversary of this globally recognized conference in the field of corrosion. The organizers would like to express deep gratitude to all those who have contributed to the remarkable success of this conference over the past 45 years. Your support and devotion and dedication have been invaluable. Now, we invite you to enjoy a short video commemorating this momentous occasion.
From the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, two societies, Bahrain Society of Engineers and AMPP Bahrain Saudi Arabia Chapter, collaborated to create the 18th Middle East Corrosion Conference and Exhibition, captivating history of the Corrosion Conference and Exhibition that started in 1979. A remarkable event that has evolved over the past 45 years. As experts and enthusiasts from various industries came together, year after year, the conference expanded its horizons. attracting more participants and showcasing cutting-edge technologies. The conference is taking place on November 13th to the 16th at the Gulf International Convention Center, under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Dana, and with honor of Mr. Wael Abdullah Al-Jafari. Keynote speakers of the conference: Dr. Tobias Scheel, Dr. Enrique Garcia, and Dr. Muhammad Abu Zahra. We have 4 workshops, 11 technical tracks, 120 technical papers, participating from 23 countries, and over 90 sponsors and exhibitors.
Your Excellencies, our distinguished guests, Saudi Aramco has been a primary sponsor and partner of success for the conference over the past 45 years. It is our pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker tonight, Mr. Wael bin Abdullah Al-Jafari, Executive Vice President of Technical Services at Saudi Aramco, to share his keynote speech. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Wael to the stage.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Dana, Minister of Oil and Environment and Special Envoy of Climate Affairs. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 18th Middle East Corrosion Conference. Since 1979, we have been coming together to collaborate in this critical area of our operations. This conference marks 45 years of commitment to address a common industrial challenge. It's also 45 years of partnership between the Bahrain chapter of the Association of Materials Protection and Performance, AMPP, the Bahrain Society of Engineers, and Saudi Aramco. Throughout this journey, we have campaigned against corrosion by establishing standards, developing alternatives, nurturing talent, and deploying new technologies. In addition, our professional network and innovation are helping us prevail against this old and familiar risk, a risk to our people, to our assets, and to the environment. At Saudi Aramco, we take these risks seriously. We are working to safeguard our company assets from corrosion through a comprehensive and integrated management program. We are also investing in digital solutions and technologies to increase the reliability and reduce costs. Our 4th Industrial Revolution Center has in-house developed corrosion management solution, monitoring close to 6.5 million data points, spanning over 35,000 parameters, including inspection, lab analysis, and process parameters. This data feeds intelligent systems that support our decision-making process to maximize the availability of our facilities and minimize disruption to our operations. On the technology front, we have deployed new inspection and maintenance tools, including the state-of-the-art UAVs and robotics. These save both time and money and keep our people safe. While the energy transition is often in the news, the materials transition is just as important. Polymers, composites, and carbon-based materials will not only play their part in a lower carbon future, but are essential in the campaign against corrosion. Saudi Aramco has leveraged the development of non-metallics by installing 14,000 kilometers of pipelines, which is equivalent to the distance from Bahrain to New Zealand. In addition, more than 40 million linear meters of glass fiber reinforced polymer rebars were installed in strategic projects such as Jazan Economic City and King Salman Energy Park, demonstrating the importance of new materials in mitigating corrosion. Behind these accomplishments are hardworking and innovative people. At Saudi Aramco, our specialist development program, established in 1980, began with only 3 participants and now has grown to more than 700 participants with 163 different technical specialties, of which 57 are directly and indirectly related to corrosion management. Meanwhile, our advanced professional development program is training 138 professionals. Together, these programs are providing world-class talent to solve the challenges of tomorrow while making a tangible difference today, both for Saudi Aramco and across the industry. Making difference is what we are all here for. In this conference, delegates from 23 countries will collaborate in 11 tracks, as we saw in the video, such as corrosion management digitization, new materials development, and materials performance and sustainability. Over 120 technical papers across 4 workshops will provide solutions to corrosion challenges. This has been our common goal since NACE and AMPP and Bahrain Society of Engineers brought us together in 1979. I would like to thank them for organizing this event and for the past 45 years of dedication and achievements. I know our 18th Corrosion Conference will be a successful one, inshallah. Enjoy the conference, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wa'il, for your keynote speech and informative insights on Aramco's advancements in managing corrosion. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, let us watch a brief video brought to you by the opening ceremony sponsor, Saudi Aramco.
Heat, air, water, the very essence of life. But when combined, they produce corrosion, a destructive force costing $1 trillion every year. A threat to our businesses, our sustainability, and our communities. But at Aramco, we've always been at the forefront of corrosion control. 45 years ago, we combined forces with our partners to bring expertise and determination to the fight against corrosion. The result? The Middle East Corrosion Conference and Exhibition. Today, we're staying ahead of the challenge, upskilling our people, collaborating with industry partners, and leveraging innovative 4IR technologies like our in-house corrosion management solution, turning tremendous amounts of data into valuable intelligence. We're also deploying non-metallics, additive manufacturing, and utilizing UAVs and robotics to ensure business continuity, reduce costs, and minimize environmental impact. Together we celebrate the 45th anniversary of the MECC, sharing our accomplishments and recognizing our collective achievements as we write the next chapter in the history of corrosion management.
Your Excellencies, our distinguished guests, the main challenge for metallic materials used in a variety of industries is corrosion. As this happens, the need to repair, replace, or upgrade equipment drives up the expenses of many businesses, including those in the maritime, industrial, aerospace, and energy industries. Due to their outstanding properties and corrosion resistance, composite materials have found uses in many sectors. Our guest today, Dr. Enrique Garcia, Chief Technology Officer of UK National Composite Center, will present to you a technical speech about new technology opportunities for the composite industry and their key role in achieving net zero. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Enrique.
Your Excellency and distinguished guest, it's a real honor to be here. So I am Enrique Garcia. I'm originally from Spain, but I actually live in the UK. I am the Chief Technology Officer at the National Composite Center. So for those of you who don't know, the National Composite Center is one of Europe's leading centers, specifically around the technology on composites, and probably one of the top 3 in the world. So maybe this is too basic, but I just wanted to start with what is a composite. So normally composites is, what you do is you combine different materials and you get something that is better than the sum of the materials that you're combining. So when you're talking about composites, most of the times we're talking about fiber reinforced composites, which means that you have a lot of fibers and resin connecting those fibers. And then you can add several different additives, and that provides really a lot of room for fine-tuning. So the beauty of composites is that you can combine many different fibers with many different resins. You can orient the fibers in different directions, and that allows for full optimization. And this is one of the reasons why they're finding ways into a lot of different sectors. So traditionally, composites have been used in aerospace, in space, in sports, like bicycles and skis and things like that, mainly because of this full optimization. But actually, on top of the lightweighting capabilities, composites have very interesting mechanical properties and some other additional things that allow them to be very interesting for certain sectors. So we talked about the lightweighting, but they are corrosion-free, or essentially corrosion-free. They are very fatigue resistant. They also allow for, because in essence, what you're doing is adding material during the manufacturing. They're kind of like an additive manufacturing process. You can then look into very complex shapes relatively easily. And also they have very, very good operational benefits if you really play along and take full advantage of them. So this is one of the reasons why we at the NCC were working with a lot of different sectors, as I mentioned before. And I will try to give you some examples on some of the reasons why composites are penetrating into new sectors. So one of the reasons why composites are interesting, again, is because they can be used to fully optimize structures, and the growth that is expected in all of the different sectors, this is probably too small, but you can see on the right how in many different sectors the growth of composites is more than clear. But they also will play a significant role in the delivery of net zero. So composites per se are very resistant. They're relatively hard to recycle, which is a limitation, but even with the current form, composites will most definitely play a role in net zero. The UK published a very interesting document analyzing identifying 10 pillars where the 10 pillars that are absolutely needed to be able to deliver net zero, and out of those 10, 7 of them composites play not only a significant role, they basically cannot happen without composites. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. So in terms of possible applications, because of the different characteristics that I mentioned, so if you look into aerospace, there's a clear focus on lightweighting. In aerospace, and especially in civil aircraft, 95% of the emissions are actually during operation. So lightweighting the aircraft means significantly lower CO2 emissions. So the focus is mainly on lightweighting, and this is the main reason why composites have developed over the years, in the last 4 years. They also play a significant role in the engines of the aircraft. So it's not only the structure, the engines themselves can benefit from the use of composites, mainly because on top of the more traditional composites, you can do composites with very high temperature materials, so you can get into 2000 degrees centigrade. And this is one of the reasons why they're used in aero engines. Increasing 50 degrees the temperature on the hot side of the engine increases the efficiency by 2%, and that is over the 40 years of an aircraft. That is a massive improvement. And there's also, they are going to be playing a more and more important role when it comes to zero emissions flight. So when you're thinking about electric urban air mobility or hydrogen in single aisles, for example, composites are the only one of the key materials that will enable that. If you think about surface transport, so again, there's a clear trend into electrification and zero emissions with either batteries or hydrogen. And again, composite will play a significant role on hydrogen in storage, but also in the distribution of the hydrogen around the world. And then this particular industry is a little bit different from aerospace because they're significantly more worried about sustainability. So there's a lot of work going on around manufacturing more sustainable composites. If you think about marine and rail, there's also a very significant trend, which is the use of composites, but making sure that you can handle fire and these kind of events. In energy, I will talk later about some of the examples where composites are already being used, although they were already mentioned by Dr. Al-Jafari. But mainly we see, on top of oil and gas, where they're significantly used, we see three main applications: carbon capture to some extent, and then hydrogen and wind. In hydrogen, again, we're talking about all the pipes that will distribute the hydrogen around the world. We're also talking about storage, and that means storage in airplanes or cars, for example, but also large storage. It makes a lot of sense to store with composites, and that's usually with a polymer liner. In terms of wind, composites are already, wind can literally not happen without composites. The blades are manufactured with glass fiber and carbon fiber. There's a clear trend to offshore, and in offshore, the blades are, the wind turbines are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The last generation, or the next generation, is going to be 20 megawatts, very large wind turbine blades. But also what we're seeing is that there's a trend to floating offshore wind, and if that is the case, then composites will most definitely play a significant role beyond that. So we're thinking about possible applications in towers, in the floaters, etc. So all of this to say that in energy, composites are going to penetrate really quickly, really strongly. And then in construction infrastructure, it was already mentioned, there's no corrosion, and that is a massive improvement. So possible uses as rebar, for example, are quite clear. But there's also the lightweighting. Maybe a little bit less important in construction infrastructure, but actually there's a lot of parasitic weight that you can eliminate, and that brings a lot of a cascade of benefits. Then there's also the additional benefit of, because it's relatively easy to embed new things into composites, structural health monitoring, so the in-field understanding of what is going on with the structure is very easy to implement. So for all these reasons, composites are more and more used in construction. So what I'm going to do now is talk about some uses, clear uses of composites. Maybe those will be familiar to you, but I hope that they will be interesting. So 3 of them that I'm showing here are more on the infrastructure side of things. So the main reason for composites to be used in all these three is, again, very low maintenance. So it's corrosion-free, relatively low emissions. You can get into quite complex shapes, as the bridge that you can see in the middle. And also because of their corrosion-free, they're safe when it comes to water, for example. So we can build relatively easily because they're lightweight, the modules are very light, you can handle them, you can assemble really quickly, and you can do something that is completely safe for water consumption. So these three are only relatively quick examples specifically on infrastructure. Hopefully this will be very well known to all of you guys. Pipes, and especially when it comes to subsea deployment of pipes. Composite pipes are probably more expensive than metals, but there are significant benefits that fully justify the use of composites in a number of applications when it comes to pipes. So you can go into very high pressures and design a pipe relatively easily to be able to withstand that. Because of the combination of different fibers and different resins, we can go into high temperatures if needed. We can go into very harsh environments from the chemical point of view. And again, there's no corrosion. So this is one of the reasons why we are seeing more and more penetration again in this field. One of the main advantages when it comes to subsea is the deployment. So pipes in metal, obviously you need to weld them. In this case, you can manufacture kilometers of them and deploy them really quickly. And this is a massive advantage. And finally, the last example that I wanted to put there is, again, on the subsea application. So in this case, it's the subsea subframes. This is something that we have worked quite actively with some of our partners, and essentially what we're doing here is, again, finding possible applications of composites that take advantage of the non-corrosive nature of the material. So what we have done here is basically identify possible ways of finding structures as low cost as possible. So we have worked in different technologies, so a lot of simulation, but also we have developed very low cost tooling and assembly, and we have a clear understanding of why this actually makes perfect sense in frames when it comes to subsea application. So hopefully this was very quickly, I only have 15 minutes, so tomorrow there will be a keynote speech. It will be a little bit longer. I will talk in more detail about a lot of this. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank you again for inviting me. It's been an honor. And yeah, come tomorrow and talk to me after the keynote. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Enrique, for the informative speech and outstanding insights on the critical role that composites play in major sectors to achieve net zero. Your Excellencies and our esteemed guests, we are honored to have with us today Dr. Raida Al-Alawi, President of Bahrain Society of Engineers, who will now share her remarks. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Raida to the stage.
Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Daina, Minister of Oil and Environment, Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, Conference Patron. Your Excellency, Mr. Wael bin Abdullah Al-Jafari, Executive Vice President of Technical Services, Saudi Aramco Conference Primary Sponsor. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of Bahrain Society of Engineers, it's our great pleasure to welcome you all to this opening ceremony of the 18th Middle East Corrosion Conference and Exhibition MECC 2023. Celebrating the 45th anniversary, MECC holds a distinguished status as a leading regional platform for this dissemination of cutting-edge trends in corrosion management. We at the Bahrain Society of Engineers strive to enhance Bahrain's reputation as a destination for international conferences in engineering and technology. By collaborating with international technical bodies, we aim to organize conferences that foster knowledge, exchange, innovation, and establish Bahrain as a leading hub for international events. This strategic initiative makes substantial contribution to the growth of the local industry, commerce, tourism, and the national economy in Bahrain. A tangible demonstration of this commitment is the organization of this conference, a prominent event resulting from BSE's partnership with AMPP, Bahrain chapter, and Aramco, Saudi Aramco. The conference's ability to draw speakers and delegates from around the world emphasize its exceptional reputation developed over the years, highlighting the success of BSE in steering the conference industry in Bahrain. BSE takes pride in this partnership with AMPP and eagerly anticipate its ongoing success and expansion. To conclude, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the conference patron, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Daina, and the conference primary sponsor, His Excellency Mr. Wael bin Abdullah Al-Jafari. Their invaluable support has been key factor in the success of this event, and we are privileged to have them among us tonight. Special recognition is extended to Mr. Mohammed Al-Subai'i, the conference chair, for his leadership and dedication. We express our sincere appreciation to the advisory, to the organizing, and to the technical committees of the conference who played a crucial role in the success of this event and the preservation of its legacy. Our gratitude extends to the diligent volunteers from Bahrain Society of Engineers and AMPP, as well as the dedicated BSE staff for their indispensable contribution. Finally, I express sincere appreciation to our keynote speakers, sponsors, exhibitors, participants, and distinguished guests. I wish everyone here engaging discussion and fruitful networking opportunity in the days ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raida. At this juncture, the conference organizing committee would like to express its sincere gratitude to all those who have contributed to the success of this conference over the past 45 years. We kindly request our esteemed patron, His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Daina, Minister of Oil and Environment, Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, to present tokens of appreciation to the distinguished past chairman, as well as our current sponsors and partners. I would also like to extend this invitation to Mr. Wael bin Abdullah Al-Jafari, Executive Vice President of Technical Services, Saudi Aramco, and Dr. Raida Al-Alawi, President of Bahrain Society of Engineers, and Mr. Mohammed Al-Subai'i, the conference chairman, to join His Excellency on the stage. We commence with our esteemed guest, Dr. Enrique Garcia, Chief Technology Officer of UK National Composites Center, for his support in delivering the outstanding technical speech. Now we recognize our distinguished past conference chairman, whose leadership contributed to the success of the conferences during the last 45 years. Dr. Iba Al-Adil. Mr. Ahmed Al-Umair. Mr. Abdullah Al-Ghamdi. Mr. Mahir Al-Arfaj. Dr. Faisal Al-Faqir. Dr. Qasim Fallata. Mr. Badr Busbet. Mr. Abdullah Al-Dosiri. Mr. Muhammad Subai. I kindly invite the representatives of our distinguished sponsors of the conference to make themselves available close to the stage. We now call the representatives of the following conference sponsors: Diamond sponsors, Saudi Aramco, Al Qahtani Pipe Coating Industries, Platinum sponsors, Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company, Specialized Oil and Gas Engineering Company, Arabian Pipe Coating Company, Abdullah Fuad, Tamimi Energy, Jotun, Diversified Lines Petroleum Services, Gold sponsors, Hempel, Kosasco, German Metal Surface Treatment Chemical, Ben Grea, Cortec, Anti-Corrosion Contracting Company, Asia Steel, Silver sponsors, Gulf Engineering House, Giuli, Hatcon, Newtech International, Emerson, Future Pipe Industries, Metal Samples, KCC, Environmental Protection Technical Services, Woojin, Stopak, Sigma Paints, Luncheon sponsor, Sheikh BSS Technologies. Technical track sponsors, OLI Systems. NAMI. نمذجة. Workshop sponsors, Aspen Aerogels. Alima. Muna Noor. Technology partners, Saudi Aramco. Batelco. Chizer. Media and social partners, Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities. Oil and Gas News. Why we?
our thanks and appreciation to all our sponsors and exhibitors and wish you a fruitful and successful conference. Now, the conference organizers would like to express their appreciation to Mr. Wa'il bin Abdullah Al-Jafari, Executive Vice President of Technical Services Saudi Aramco, for his great support to the conference. The conference organizers would like to extend their profound gratitude and appreciation to our conference patron, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Dana, Minister of Oil and Environment, Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, for his continuous support and kind patronage. Now please allow me to introduce the conference organizing team to the stage to take a group photo with our patron, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Dana and Mr. Wa'il bin Abdullah Al-Jafari. Thank you, esteemed excellencies, invited guests, and sponsors. We sincerely thank you for joining us and wish you a pleasant evening and a successful conference. This concludes our ceremony tonight, and please allow me to welcome you in joining us for dinner.